Hello everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now, bullying is becoming more and more of a problem in our society, both in schools and in the workplace. In the past, school children have been told to just ignore it and they will stop, but that's far from reality. Bullies can cause so much distress to a person's life, it can lead to unhealthy habits such as alcoholism and self-harm just to escape the pain inflicted by bullying. Some people even kill themselves. This needs to stop, and today I'll be talking to former Britain's Got Talent contestant Fabia Chera about her experience with being bullied, and we'll be watching some confessions from the bullies themselves. We also have Dr. Nihara Krause, and she'll be giving us her expertise on bullying, and we'll be watching an experiment involving bullying too. But first, let's speak to the lovely Fabia, who'll be sharing her experience of bullying. Hello, Fabia.
Hello, Chrissy.
Thank you so much for coming to the show
welcome.
today.
Thank you for asking me.
It's okay. So I know you were just telling me a little earlier that you haven't actually, you've written about your experience, but
Yes.
you've never actually spoken, especially on TV, about it.
Not on TV.
So I hope you're going to be okay.
I'm going to be fine.
But I'm going to look after you.
I know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know, I know this is a sensitive topic, but it does need to be spoken about because so
Yeah.
many people are going through it and they think their life is over, but indeed it's not over.
No.
You can always get the help.
Absolutely.
So Fabia, tell us when it all started for you.
For me, bullying point was when I was dancing, and I was at a competitive stage where I was touring the world and the country.
How old were you
and
at this time?
the pinnacle stage was 13, 14.
Okay.
That's when I was at the highest of my
So you
height.
must have been really excited at that age. And
Dancing was my escapism.
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of something that happened in my childhood. So therefore, with the bullying and stuff, it was definitely just to escape from everything. That was my least let go.
Okay. Do you want to talk about what happened to you, or do you want to?
At school, because I danced on the weekend, so the competitions would be a Saturday and then return home on a Sunday. And then on the Monday, it'd be released in the local paper. So they would see it or hear someone talking about it, and it'd be girls just a few years older than myself. They wouldn't get me at the school gates at the beginning of school. It sort of went on after school. They would follow me home, pull my hair, punch me.
How many girls are we talking about here?
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Not just one. I mean, don't forget, I'm going home alone, having panic attacks and anxiety attacks, thinking I just wish I could fly home right now, because you can't. I mean, you want to walk home as fast as you can. That's when the anxiety would come on.
Yeah.
I knew they were all behind me. I didn't know what to expect, but it was fear. It was done in such an evil way.
So what would they do? Pull your hair?
Yeah,
taunt
just
you?
really, really nasty. Just like, it's just ridiculous, really. Now,
So all because they'd seen you in the paper and they were obviously jealous that you were...
Obviously. And you think, well, it's such a shame, because back in that stage of my life, I couldn't really understand why they were doing it. I mean, you would assume that people would be happy for another person to be quite successful that young.
Yeah.
It wasn't just myself. There are many people in this country who are competitive dancers. So I didn't really get it, and I couldn't understand what was going through their mind and why I was their target at that time. But the feeling I had was like fear, panic attacks, anxiety. But at that point, I didn't realise that was an illness. I just thought that was a feeling that I would get when I was being bullied. That time I associated
was that
those.
was it the first time you'd experienced those kind of episodes, though, or did that happen before you'd been bullied? Right.
Those feelings, when I was younger, I was abused by a family member.
Okay.
So all I remember is the first panic attack,
Okay.
which was really, really strong as a child, and you think, this is not normal. But then you just shut your eyes and that was it. And I just blacked. I just remember just blacking out. So therefore my heart was pounding. That was the very first time I could feel that. Then my mother, unfortunately, was suffering herself. My mother drank a lot.
Okay.
So she would take out her problems on me and my sister. Not mentally, but physically. So that was another thing I had to deal with. And again,
And this was going on at the same time as when you were also being bullied by the girls, was it? Or
this was just before.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't know whether my mum drank because a family member had abused me from her side, Or
oh, so she knew, she found out about that.
I told her myself, and she said she
Okay.
didn't believe me at first.
Oh,
So I don't know whether that was her coping mechanism of turning to alcohol to numb her pain, because obviously she didn't know how to deal with it as a mother. Because if my son come to me and told me he was abused, I wouldn't know how to react. So I guess that was my mum's way of numbing her pain, I guess. But yeah, my mum, she just suffered a lot as well.
Okay.
So it was an ongoing thing in the family. So yeah, so she was abusive.
So you had the obviously you had panic attacks before the bullying. So then obviously this brought up
away,
those negative emotions again.
Yeah.
Because it was a time when you're in distress again in your life, and that kind of brought back those kind of emotions that you had, and the reaction to those emotions that you had.
Because you just think, you know, when you're a child, if you think that being abused by your parent is normal, you don't know nothing else. If you're being constantly hit and battered and pushed and pushed and pushed to become this dancer that your mother really wanted to be, then my mother was, God bless her, was living her life through me.
You. Okay. So her regrets, she was basically trying to make up for something. Okay, you're doing really well, sweetheart. You're doing really well. It's okay. You're doing really well. I'm very proud of you for coming to talk about this, because I know a lot of people are going through the same thing right now, and they don't know how to cope with it. They don't know what to do. But because of your story and because of the help that we're going to give them today, they're going to have a new beginning. And I'm sure of that. So thank you. Can we get a tissue here, please?
Sorry.
It's okay, darling. Karen, you're doing so well. All right. So Fabia, you were getting bullied by these girls afterwards.
Yeah.
First of all, let me ask you, before we get to what the girls and how you coped with the bullying, what dreams did you actually have for yourself? Do you remember?
Yeah, I always said I just wanted to be a professional dancer, that was all. I was slender. I just had this goal of just dancing worldwide and choreographing and thank you, just working with so many people to like get them to where they wanted to be, you know, working with children and, you know, let them live their dreams out and, you know, get them onto music, TV and, you know, theatre, the West End. That was my dream. But for me, with the bullying, it was easier to give up everything. I gave up my life. So every day I was dancing, training, and it come to a head where I was just so tired of being bullied by these girls. I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to give up. I didn't explain to my dance teachers. They come around my house. They said, why have you given up? What's wrong? I said, I can't cope no more. Because I was in a relationship when I was about 14 and it wasn't good. I found it very, very difficult to connect with this guy. And I guess from the abuse from when I was younger, it was really, really hard to try and be with a man, if you know what I mean. So
you had so many things. It was everything from the past basically was affecting you because obviously it hadn't been dealt with. You hadn't, the person that you did speak to about it didn't believe you. No, so that was obviously.
And that broke my heart because you think that the only person that would protect you or believe you would be your parents. My father wasn't actually in the house when it happened. We were visiting relatives and my sister just saved me.
Do you know, this is something really, really important for the parents and actually any adult. If a child comes to you and says that, because it takes a lot for a child to actually open up about something like that in the first place. Yeah. So if your child comes to you and says something like that's happened, or you're a teacher or any adult and that child confides in you, the first thing you need to do is not say, oh, you're lying. That is such a, I would say, cruel thing. I know sometimes it's a reaction or it might be disbelief, but you have to show the child that you believe them and then make the, the investigations and do everything that you're meant to do afterwards. But show that child, don't judge them, don't have a go at them because I know sometimes it's a cultural thing and it's like, oh, it's shame on the family and stuff like that. But that child needs you. That child needs you at that time. So make sure, you take that time to spend with the child. If they're opening up to you, show them that you believe them. And then take it from there, because there's lots of professionals and organisations that can help. You need to help the children; they're vulnerable.
Yeah, And this is, you know, this is why I support the NSPCC now as well, because they do tremendous work, and I just wish that I knew their phone number back in the day.
Yeah.
And, you know,
thank goodness things have changed a lot since then, Fabio.
They have.
They have. But you're going to stay with us. Are you okay to carry on?
I am, yeah.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, Chrissy.
So brave. All right, so do join us after this, because Fabio's going to tell us more of her story, and also we're going to be speaking about how you can get help for these kind of things and how to deal with bullying if you're going through it. So don't go away.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Back to today's program, and we are talking all about bullying. So Fabio's been telling us her story, and I think she's been really brave to come on and tell us everything that she's been through. And we're going to continue with her in just a moment. But first, let's watch this video about confessions from a bully.
Why I bully? Why I bully you? Why I bully you? Why I bully you?
Celia Douglas,
Deanna Torres,
Kaylin Youngblood,
Lauren Pack,
Markeisha Babers,
Maya Mayer,
Rochelle Shuckman,
Rhiannon McGavin,
Simone Abeganrin,
Zaria Allen.
Why I bully you? I bully you because you're fat. I bully you because you're ugly.
You're ugly.
Ugly. I bully you because
you're stupid.
you smell. You make me sick. I bully you
Because you're too tall.
you're too short, too light, too dark, too smart.
Too dumb.
I bully you because
You're a nerd. You're a nerd. I bully you because you have no friends.
You're a loser.
You're a loser.
You're gay.
Gay, and everybody hates you.
I bully you because
no one ever stops me.
I bully you because no one cares.
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
I bully you.
Because
No.
no, no,
No.
no.
I bully you because it makes me feel powerful.
Powerful. I bully you because
I want to fit in.
I have to fit in.
I bully you
Because I don't want anyone to see my imperfections.
because I'm uncomfortable in my own skin.
I bully you because
I don't like myself.
I don't like myself.
I don't like myself.
I bully you because
I am my own nightmare.
My own worst enemy.
numbing myself from the inside out.
Projecting it onto you.
I bully you because I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
I'm scared. I bully you because
My mother screams at me. I bully you because
My father hits me.
I bully you because
my brother beats me up.
so I beat you up.
I bully you because I think I might be gay, and
And I don't want anyone to know.
I bully you because I don't feel good about myself.
I bully you because
I think I'm ugly.
I think I'm too fat. I think I'm stupid. I bully you because I see myself in you.
I see myself in you.
I see myself in you.
I see myself in you
I bully you.
because I am you.
Wow, that's really powerful stuff. And obviously it's not to say that giving any excuse to bullies to continue what they're doing because maybe they themselves don't feel good about themselves, but it's just a different way of looking at things. And sometimes I think kind of understanding another person's situation can kind of help you make sense of things. I'm not saying to accept it in any way, shape or form, but it kind of just gives you another perspective on the whole issue. But let's go back to Fabia. You're right, my sweetie.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so we're going to talk a bit more about your story. So you've told us about sort of how you were abused when you were a child, and you told your mum she didn't believe you, and then she started to abuse you physically, and then the girls started to bully you at school because of, you're doing well in your dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
What else happened after that?
When I decided to give up all my dancing, all my dreams, the bullies went away. And
Right.
it was just something I had to do. I just felt like that was the only decision I could make, was to break free and just let them win. So
But how did you feel about yourself though at that time, doing that, giving up your
I
dream?
was exhausted.
Didn't
I was
care,
so
like-
tired. I just had enough. I was just mentally drained. I just couldn't go on. My exams at school were lacking because of my truancy, because of the fact that I knew I'd be bullied on the Monday, so I would truant on the Monday, then it would skip over to another day. Too many problems, so I gave up and I died inside.
Now let's fast forward now, Fabia, because you were a contestant on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
How did that feel for you, doing something like that after everything that you'd been through?
Amazing, totally amazing to think that everything had gone. The past was the past. I'd let go. I was ill for a while. I'd let that go. I became well. I went back into dancing. I retrained. I lost some weight and I hit that stage. And I thought, this is wonderful, because that was really where I wanted to be.
Did the producers know your past at that point, or?
I wrote on the application form about my history of dancing, and you have to let them know if you're on medication and you're ill. So of course I let them know yeah, that I had bipolar, and that was explored through the researchers, and I told them the truth.
But I'm saying, did they know about the sort of the stuff that you'd been through, like with the bullying and everything like that, or they didn't?
That's a really good question, because I really don't know about that side until later on.
All right.
I think when you're first within the show, I don't know how far the researchers would go. So, but yes, the book that I wrote was about then. So yes, maybe they got hold of it, I don't know.
But then, even though you being on TV, obviously everyone gets to know you, even if it's just for a while.
Yeah.
That obviously left you open to attacks from people, from the media even.
Absolutely.
So what was it that happened at that point?
I did the first audition, which was filmed, and then it went out live in April, and then had journalists obviously mixing stories as they do. They got hold of the book again and twisted it, as they do, because that's what their job is about. They get paid for that. So yeah, but it was a friend of mine. She said, look, I know you haven't got Facebook and you haven't got the social media at this point. You've got some attackers, you know, threatening you, and you know, being just vicious. You fat slag, and you're disgusting. If you were my mum, I would kill myself.
Oh,
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So I was like, do you know what? I hope that you really don't mean that, because I'm a believer in karma. Enough said.
But how did you cope with that?
How did I cope with it?
Was it different to?
But because I'm older and I suffered so much back in the day, again, it was, of course it's hurtful, but because I thought, this is my second chance. Am I going to let people bully me again? A second chance? Not a lot of people get that. So I thought, right, no one's going to let me down. I'm not even going to let myself down. Get on with it. The producers were wonderful. They said, please don't read the social media. Please don't buy the papers. Just we'll protect you. And they did. They were fantastic, actually, because they actually support you mentally. I had a one-to-one all the time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because obviously they understood. Yeah. They didn't want me to snap.
So no regrets then?
Absolutely not.
Now, Fabia, tell us about your son.
My son, he's Leonie, and he'll be 10 in April. He's autistic, on a lower spectrum, so he can communicate. He can, you know, he's really, really good at chatting and telling me what he wants, if he wants to go play outside or go to the cinema. You know, he's great, and he's doing really, really well at school. But when I had my son in 2005, that's when I felt the power of love. Now, I know some people think, oh my God, that's a long time, but that was what happened with my life, you see, I think, because I was so used to numbing pain all those years. And
so it kind of helped you to feel again, I suppose.
It did. I'm no angel. I mean, I was stupid. I did drugs back in the 90s, so that numbed, again, that messed my head up and numbed all the pain. So again, that was my route to escape on drugs. So when I had my son, I was drug-free. I had nothing poisonous inside me, just the medication to keep my mind settled. And wow, my life's just totally revolved. It's wonderful.
I know you're pushing through things still, Fabia, and you're not giving up, which is wonderful. Because I know there were times when you felt that way when you were younger. But and this is so important, because there's people watching now actually that might feel like, I can't take it anymore. But push through that, talk to someone, because just because you feel it today, it doesn't mean you're going to feel like this 6 months from now, or even tomorrow. Sometimes emotions change from day to day. Sometimes you can feel lousy one day and a bit hopeful the next. So don't base a decision, especially something so drastic as suicide, for example, or harming yourself in any way. Don't base it on a decision on what you're feeling right now. Just talk to someone, just get the help, because there is help out there, isn't there, Fabia?
Absolutely, there is, yeah.
Okay. And what would you say to someone that's getting bullied now? What would you say to that person?
Well, my GP was wonderful. She actually gave me a book to read, which was about self-help and to gain strength from being abused as a child. So that was my issue. I needed to go back in time. I needed to help myself, and I did. There are amazing books out there in the libraries and stuff, and you know, if even people wanted to buy it, you know, there are so many people talking about bullying. You don't realise it.
You're not alone.
No, you're not.
Darlings at home, you're not alone. If you're going through it, you're not alone. Please talk to us, talk to someone. We're here for you as well.
Absolutely. They were just, and charities as well are wonderful.
It's so much better than what it used to be, isn't there?
It is.
It really is.
Mind Charity is wonderful.
Yeah.
They don't just talk about mental illness. They can talk about things that are making you feel mentally ill, i.e. bullying.
Yeah, exactly. Fabia, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
Chrissy.
coming on, for talking. I hope that's also helped you, because you've helped other people now as well, which is great. You did great, darling.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so don't go away, because after the break, we're going to be joined by psychologist Dr. Nihara Krause, and she's going to be giving us an overview on the different issues surrounding bullying. So please don't go away.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to today's show, and we are talking all about bullying today. So we've heard the story of the lovely Fabia, and she was very brave to talk about everything that happened to her. And now we have our expert with us, Dr. Nihara Krause. Hello.
Hello there.
So nice to have you back.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
Oh, okay, so this is obviously like a very serious topic that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And you know, on this show, we will talk about all sorts of topics if it's to help people. Now, first of all, what did you think of Fabia's story?
I thought Fabia was, first of all, incredibly brave to come on the show. I think what was very sad to hear was the multiple forms of bullying that she went through, she experienced, and the lack of support that there was, so that she had to go into her adult years before something was done about it. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And also we showed that video about sort of the confessions of a bully.
Yes.
Now, as I said, it's not to excuse bullies from that behaviour, but what do you think that's kind of like accurate why bullies bully other people, or is it something else, do you think?
No, I think bullies will bully people for a number of different reasons. Sometimes they have been bullied themselves. Sometimes they have been punished very severely so that their understanding of physical or mental abuse is that's how people communicate.
Right. So they think it's normal.
They think it's normal. Sometimes they have issues around self-esteem, and you know, often what's talked about is that they have low self-esteem, and a way of making yourself feel better is to put somebody else down. What often isn't talked about is people who actually are the opposite, where they have an unrealistic sense of positive, they think they are better than, and so that sense of superiority can also make them want to put people down.
So these are kind of people then that have no remorse after bullying someone?
They may well, yes. That group of people will have no remorse.
Wow.
The other group of people will recognise what they're doing, but perhaps have no other tools to express how they feel. And often bullies also don't know how to express a number of feelings, and so they express it in the only way they know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what help? Because we will talk about how to help people that are being bullied, but what about the bullies themselves? What can be done to help them? Because obviously, if they're from the group that think it's fine and they don't feel anything, how do you even handle? How do you even help someone like that?
Well, I think that there needs to be, it depends on the person and their presentation. It may well be that for bullies who show no remorse, there needs to be a punishment-based approach, you know, where there are very strict guidelines on how their behaviours will be managed and the repercussions, and the repercussions that they will face as a result of it. But in most cases, bullies can be supported by enabling them to understand what it is that prompts that sort of behaviour, teaching alternative or learning alternative behaviours, and often instead of cutting off from what they feel and therefore what they think the person they're bullying feels, to really start to take on board the impact of what they're doing.
And it is important to help bullies, because, you know, someone that's been bullied, it's like they might think, oh, they don't deserve to be helped. Because look at all this pain that they've inflicted on me and all these issues that I'm going through. But at the end of the day, if they're not helped in some way, they will pass that on to their children probably. And it's just, the whole society ends up being a really hard place to live, isn't it? The whole community. So, you know, we have to start somewhere. We can't just sort of disregard a whole group of people, even though they might have hurt us in some way, but they need the help as well, so it doesn't continue, it doesn't keep going on.
Well, of course, I think you need an educational model to enable people to understand why their behaviour is the way it is. And often there are, you know, there's very, very good treatment programs available for both bullies and for people who have been bullied, to enable them to move forward, including things like conflict resolution, where, you know, the bully has to face the person they've bullied and learn how to say sorry and to be able to find a way of repairing the damage that they've done.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the people that have been bullied or are being bullied at the moment. How can they cope, or how can they recover from something like that?
Okay, well, first of all, I think, and Fabio's story, I think, really underlines this, is, you know, really do come forward early, because the effects of bullying are far-reaching, and what can start as possibly feeling frightened about something can very quickly generate into major anxiety or panic attacks, or into things like phobia. So children who are bullied, perhaps if they're being bullied at school, might develop a school phobia, for example. Bullying makes you feel sad, and that sadness, if it's not dealt with, can lead to depression, and depression, if it continues, can lead to, you know, suicide. The biggest impact of bullying is on how you see yourself as a person, and that can zap your self-esteem, your self-worth. It can lead to huge relationship problems, because that's where the breakdown of trust happens. And relationship problems can also affect, depending on the type of bullying. You know, if it's sexual bullying, then you can have lots of difficulties in intimacy and trust. So the important thing is to do something early, and also not to rely on perhaps what might be easily accessible ways of dealing with things. So sometimes we might, you know, drink too much, because that might help numb the pain, or take drugs, or eat, or get into fights ourselves, or self-harm, because all of these types of ways of coping seem like they help with the pain that you feel. But there are yes, exactly, because they then have their own problems associated with it. So learn how to deal with positive things. There's absolutely no shame in being bullied. In fact, it's a strength to come forward and ask for help.
Definitely. Now, if a person has kind of not come forward early and these issues, some of these issues have developed already, it's not too late still to get help at whatever stage. So if you are watching and you haven't come forward before, and you think, oh, it's been years now, what's the point of talking about it? Nothing's going to change for me. It's not true, is it? No, so
no, not at all.
Someone can always get help, even if
it's never too late, because the foundations of how you see yourself, how you behave, that are laid down, can be easily changed, whatever age you are and however old, you know, the kind of impact of that bullying was. So definitely come forward and get some help. And there's loads of good sources around, you know, from helplines to charities to health services, and some very good treatments, therapies around.
Okay, but if they don't open up, they won't know about all of that,
No.
right? Okay.
No.
All right, now let's just quickly, I had a question here as well about how can you actually spot the signs if your child maybe is a bully?
Is a bully,
Yeah,
yes.
is a bully, or you're suspecting that what are the signs that, you know, you might have a child that's a bully?
Well, if you have a child who is, you know, constantly getting into trouble, perhaps being reported by school as having behavioural difficulties, if you have a child who perhaps finds social relationships difficult, if you use corporal punishment at home, if your child gets away with being angry and somehow isn't reprimanded or punished, if your child is seems to fall out with friends.
Big, isn't it?
It is. It's huge.
Wow.
It's huge. Then those might be some of the signs to pick up on. And if your child has low self-esteem but doesn't seem to show it because they're constantly, you know, they're lippy, they're angry, they're feisty, then I think, you know, just keep an eye, because they might be using their power in the wrong way.
And as a parent, what would you advise to do?
As a parent, either way around, if you suspect your child is a bully, then, you know, talk to school. Go to the class teacher, find out, talk to the teacher, find out what your child's like, observe them, you know, talk to friends' parents, and it might be that you have to really think about how you're going to manage it. If your child is being bullied, then there are a number of signs that you can pick up. If your child suddenly seems to be changing in their behaviour, if they're very angry and aggressive at home, if they're very unhappy, if they're very anxious, if they're very frightened, if they somehow seem to not be able to sleep, they stop eating or they're overeating, all sorts of signs of anxiety, give you a bit of a heads up that something's wrong. And again, if your child's at school, visit school, talk to the class teacher, find out more, talk to the head, find out about the school's bullying policies. Every school has got a bullying policy, and they will have an officer who will be able to help.
That's really
work through things.
And just another thing, going back to sort of maybe the parents of a bully, I think it's also really important, because sometimes parents will just kind of stick up for their kids no matter what.
Yes.
And in some senses, it's a nice quality to have, but then on the other side of the coin now, if your child is doing wrong and is inflicting pain on someone else, you can't just stick up for them no matter what and not even believe, you know, lots of reports. Because if there's one report, maybe it's a lie, but if you're getting so many reports from different people that something's happening with your child, you need to do something. You can't just stick up for your child because it's my child and how dare you say things like that. You have to look into it, because I think it's everyone's responsibility. Like we said, it's such a massive area, and everyone has to do their bit, from the parents to the schools to the people that are being bullied themselves. Everyone has to do their part, and together we can change things, we can make a difference.
Well, I think parents have to learn to set boundaries and to correct behaviour, to model good behaviour. You know, you have, as a parent, you have to be able to,
as well, so much.
Absolutely, and it's not just what you say, it's what you do. What you do is very powerful. So, you know, have some self-reflection, and it might be that it's not just your child that needs to change, but you need to change. The family structure needs to change.
Definitely. We need to do another topic on that, don't we?
Absolutely. And actually, can I just mention also that, you know, adults get bullied too. And there's bullying in the workplace, and it's similar. Don't let it go neglected. Pick it up and, you know, definitely talk about it, get some help. Cyberbullying is a huge area. So, you know, there's loads of different
We'll be doing
ways.
more. We'll be definitely doing more, guys, at home on this, because there's so many different things we can talk about. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Nihara, once again, for your expert advice. Thank you. All right, guys, so don't go away, because after the break, I'll be giving you some advice on bullying, and we'll be watching a social experiment to see how people react when witnessing bullying.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to today's show, which is all about bullying. Now, before I go into my own tips on dealing with bullying, let's take a look at this social experiment on what people do, their reactions when seeing someone bullied.
Yo, get over here. Get over here. Get in. Quiet. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. You want me to hurt you again? You want me to sock you in the face? Huh? Where's my paper?
I don't have it.
Where's my paper? Huh? Where's my paper?
Just let me go.
Huh?
Just let me go.
Where's my paper?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Sir? How are you doing? How come you didn't help out? So I feel like a big issue in today's generation is bullying. But why does bullying continue, and why doesn't anybody put a stop to it? So I thought, let's put a crime and let it happen right in front of people's faces and see what they would do. Because of course, change starts with the people, right?
Yes, it does.
Let's go. Stop running away from me, yo. I'm gonna get you regardless, okay? I know where you live.
What do you want?
I want my paper, all right? By tonight. I want my paper by tonight or you're gonna get socked in the face. Do you hear me?
Let me go.
Do you hear me? You want me to sock you right now? Do you want me to sock you right now? I will.
Just let me.
Get over here.
Please,
Get over here. Why didn't you do my paper?
I'm sorry.
Why didn't you do my paper? Stop. Stop.
Just let me
You want
go.
me to hit you?
No, I'm sorry.
What are you looking at?
Please.
You want me to hit you right now? You want me to sock you in the face?
Sorry,
Huh?
just let me go.
You want me to do what I did to you?
Let me go.
You want me to do what I did to you last time?
No.
Why didn't you do my paper?
I'm sorry. Just let me go.
Don't make a scene. Don't make a scene.
Let me go.
Do you want me to choke you out?
No.
I want my paper by tomorrow at midnight.
Sorry,
Stop.
please.
Stop.
I'm
Stop.
sorry.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
I want my paper by tomorrow, okay?
It hurt.
What are you doing? Huh?
Recording you.
What are you gonna do? Put it on World Star?
Yeah, sure.
Why?
You bullying the guy.
Huh?
You bullying the guy.
Why does that have to do with you?
Because I'm on campus, I can't see anyone being like maltreated inappropriately.
You trying to get away, huh? You trying to get away, huh? Huh? But what did I tell you? What did I tell you would happen next time? What did I tell you would happen next time, huh? Huh? What are you doing?
Let me go.
Oh, sir. There's a camera right there. We're seeing what would happen in a bullying real life situation, and you did a great job right now, sir. You run away from me? No. You trying to run away from me? You want me to beat you up like I did last time, huh? Where's my paper? Where's my paper? My financial aid relies on you. You want me to sock you in the face right now?
Just let me.
You want me to sock you in the face, really? You want me to do that again, huh? You want me to do what I did last time?
Wait, stop. What are you doing?
Who are you?
You know him? I don't know, but I'm checking my email like that.
This is none of your business. Sit out of
I don't know
it.
who you are either, but can you leave him alone?
No, get out of my face.
No, you get out of my face. You're hurting this poor guy. I don't even know who the you are.
Get away from me.
I think you should leave. I think you should go. I don't know you, but I think you should go.
When your girlfriend isn't here, I'm coming back for you.
Sorry.
Huh?
Sorry.
Huh?
Let me
You
go.
want me to hurt you again?
No.
Huh?
No.
You want me to?
No.
Huh? You want me to punch you right now? Huh? What would you do?
No. Sorry. Stop it.
Welcome back. Now that was, to be honest, I don't know how I would react if I saw someone being bullied. Although once I remember being on a bus and I saw someone pickpocketing everyone, and I marched up to the bus driver in front of the guy, and he started threatening me, but I was basically trying to tell the driver what was happening. I don't know if it was in a bullying situation. I think most people don't actually know how they would react if they were to see something like that. The ideal situation would be to help and to step in, but I know also some people are afraid for their own safety. But I think if we all pulled together and made sure that we did step in when we see these kind of things, a lot could change, and it would actually intimidate those that do bully others. But let's go now to a few points that I have if you are being bullied. Now, I remember actually being bullied at school for various different things, and there was a point where I think I must have been about 11 or 12, and I was actually wetting my bed, even though I wasn't a child or a toddler anymore, but because I was so distressed about going into school, then I started wetting my bed, and I didn't kind of associate the two at the time. And my parents were asking, what's going on? Why are you wetting your bed? You're not a child. What's going on? And it's like I was asked by, I think it was a counsellor at the time or someone that they took me to see about it, if there was anything going on at school. But for some reason I didn't tell them what was going on, and I wasn't getting bullied physically, but it was like verbally taunting. Like I'd walk into a class and the class had made up a song about me, and it was a time that I dreaded going into school. I couldn't wait till the day was over to go home again. And at the time I didn't feel like I could tell my parents. I didn't feel like I could tell the people that were trying to help me with the bedwetting situation, and it was all a big mess. But it is so important to make sure you do speak to someone. Don't keep it to yourself, because there were so many people around me to help me, but for some reason I felt, I can't talk about this. And I think I was ashamed about wetting my bed at an age where I was already not a toddler anymore. So there was all those kind of feelings of shame and those kind of things. But it's important that you do speak to someone. Now, number one, don't blame yourself if you are being bullied. It wasn't my fault that I was being bullied at school. It wasn't Fabia's fault that she was being bullied. And if you're being bullied, it's not your fault. No matter what someone says to you or does to you, it's never your fault. The problem is with the bully. Okay, so that's the first step, because sometimes people even feel guilty for no reason. The person being bullied starts to feel guilty for maybe they might think to themselves, oh, it's my fault I'm being bullied. It's never ever your fault. And number two, be proud of who you are. So, you know, one of the things that I was bullied for was being foreign. Even I was born, well, I would say foreign, I was born in the UK, but I would get taunted for being Greek, and I'd be told to go back to my own country even though I was born here. But be proud of who you are. There's so many wonderful things about you. Always remember that. No matter what the person says to you, look at all the beautiful things about you. In my case, you know, I had a wonderful culture that I come from, and the people are friendly and they're lovely. And at the time I was kind of like, oh, I want to be the same as everyone else. But I didn't realize how many things I had to be proud of at the time. So be proud of who you are no matter what's going on. And I also already spoke about number three, which is to get help. So, you know, there's, as we said, it's not the same as what it used to be. There's lots of charities nowadays. There's organizations that can help. There's helplines that you can call. You can confide in a friend, in your parents. Just make sure you don't keep it to yourself. And number four, learn to deal with stress. So finding ways to actually deal with stress can make you more resilient. So you could invest in yourself, for example. You can do exercise. You can do different things. Don't just sort of say, okay, now I'm going through this problem. I'm just going to kind of accept it and not do anything with my life. Make sure you're still active. You're doing things, because all those things, when you invest in yourself, you can actually build your confidence through doing that as well. And the last one is avoid isolation. So you're going to be better equipped to deal with things if you do have people around you. So try to find ways to increase your social circles. Don't just become a loner because of a few people. There's loads of nice people in the world still, believe it or not. There's, for example, if you're young, and you know, there's nice youth groups that you can join where people are positive, where they're not going to bully you or put you down in any way. There's so many people like that. So don't, don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself away from people and isolate yourself because of a few people that are causing these things in your life. Don't deprive yourself, that's the word I was looking for. Don't deprive yourself of friendships, of having nice relationships with people just because of what these people have done to you or are doing to you. All right, so I hope those points have helped you as well as everything else that we've heard today on the show. But the main thing is, I suppose, is that you aren't alone. If you're going through this, you are not alone. You know, we'd like to get everyone involved in this to try and change the world, but if everyone does their part, then I'm sure we can make a big difference. So if you need to speak to me about anything, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. And if you want more information about our guest today, you can also visit the website chrissybshow.tv. And also I've launched my own website, which is called mylifeafterdepression.com. And you can find out more about me there, and also how I dealt with depression. So see you again next time, and bye for now.